In the vast expanse of the galaxy, the Galactic Council sat in its grand chamber, a colossal room filled with representatives from powerful alien species. The Council was the highest authority in the galaxy, known for its advanced technology and immense power. They controlled countless planets and had maintained peace, or at least control, for thousands of years. Yet they had one glaring oversight: they underestimated humanity. The Council members were confident and a bit arrogant. They saw humans as a small, insignificant species from a backwater planet called Earth. To them, Earth was nothing more than a tiny dot in the galaxy, with humans being primitive and weak compared to the advanced civilizations of the Council. This belief was so strong that they rarely paid any attention to human developments or advancements. While the Council indulged in their high-tech meetings and debates, far from their sight, Earth's best minds were working on something incredible. Hidden in underground labs and secret facilities, human scientists were pushing the boundaries of technology. They had developed faster-than-light, FTL, travel, a technology that could make ships move across the galaxy almost instantly. It was a breakthrough that no one in the Galactic Council had anticipated. The Council's daily routine was filled with discussions about more pressing matters: intergalactic trade, maintaining order, and managing conflicts among powerful species. Humanity was seen as a minor concern, a species that would likely remain limited to its own solar system. They even joked about how human technology was outdated and far from being a real threat. Little did they know these jokes were about to come back to haunt them. One day, as the Council members gathered for their regular session, an urgent report came in from a distant quadrant of the galaxy. A large fleet, sent by the Council to patrol near human space, had vanished without a trace. The fleet was a formidable force, equipped with advanced weapons and technology designed to deter any threat. The sudden disappearance of such a fleet was alarming, but the Council members were more intrigued than worried. Instead of panicking, they dismissed the report as a malfunction or a minor problem. After all, their technology was state-of-the-art, and they believed that humans could never develop anything that could challenge their might. They continued their discussions, their confidence unwavering despite the mysterious loss of their fleet. Meanwhile, Earth's secret FTL fleet was ready. The human leaders had kept the fleet hidden for years, perfecting their technology and preparing for the moment when they would reveal their strength. Humanity's space forces had trained extensively, waiting for the right time to show their new capabilities. That time was approaching fast, but the Galactic Council had no idea that the balance of power was about to shift dramatically. In their high-tech control rooms, the Council members remained oblivious to the brewing storm. They continued to mock human technology and dismiss any concerns about Earth's potential. Their focus remained on their grand plans and current galactic politics, convinced that they had all the time in the world to deal with minor issues like humanity. Little did they realize that their biggest mistake was their underestimation of humanity. The Council's belief that humans were nothing more than a nuisance was about to be shattered. As Earth prepared to unveil its secret FTL fleet, the Galactic Council would soon face the consequences of their ignorance. The stage was set for a dramatic revelation that would change the galaxy forever. Deep within Earth's hidden research facilities, away from prying eyes and distant from the Galactic Council's notice, humanity had been making remarkable progress. While the Council dismissed humans as insignificant, Earth's top scientists and engineers had been working on a game-changing secret. They were developing faster-than-light, FTL, travel, a technology that could revolutionize space travel and make humanity a formidable power in the galaxy. The research was carried out in high-security labs, buried deep beneath the surface of unassuming locations on Earth. Only a select few knew the full extent of the project. The scientists, engineers, and military leaders involved in the FTL program were driven by a single goal: to ensure that humanity would not be a weak, overlooked species. They had long dreamed of making humans a force to be reckoned with on the galactic stage. The heart of their secret plan was a new type of spacecraft, equipped with technology far beyond what the Council could imagine. These ships could travel across vast distances almost instantly, bypassing the limitations of conventional space travel. They had been tested in secret, and the results were astonishing. Human scientists had cracked the code of FTL travel, creating ships that could zip from one side of the galaxy to the other in mere moments. As the project advanced, the human military began preparing for a future where their new fleet would need to defend Earth and its interests. They built a massive fleet of these advanced ships, each one a marvel of human engineering. The fleet was carefully hidden, concealed from the prying eyes of any alien surveillance. Only a few high-ranking officials and military leaders were aware of its existence. The rest of humanity continued with their everyday lives, blissfully unaware of the incredible technological leap being made behind the scenes. The timing of the reveal was crucial. Humanity needed to ensure that their FTL fleet was fully operational and that they had a strategy to use it effectively. The leaders of the project knew that revealing their strength too soon could lead to premature conflict, while waiting too long could mean missing an opportunity. They needed the perfect moment, a time when the Galactic Council's confidence was at its peak, and their guard was down. In the meantime, the Galactic Council continued with their routine, oblivious to the storm brewing in human space. They engaged in their usual debates and decisions, convinced that their power was unchallenged. The Council's arrogance blinded them to the reality that humanity was rapidly advancing. They focused on minor disputes and power plays, failing to see the bigger picture. The human scientists and military strategists knew that their reveal would be a shock to the galaxy. They had carefully planned every detail, from the timing of their announcement to the strategic deployment of their fleet. They were ready to show the Galactic Council just how wrong they had been to underestimate humanity. As the final preparations were made, a sense of anticipation filled the hidden bases on Earth. The day of revelation was drawing near, and with it, the beginning of a new era for humanity. The Galactic Council's complacency would soon be shattered by the unveiling of a fleet that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. Humanity's secret plan was about to come to light, and the galaxy would never be the same. The Galactic Council was in a state of routine as usual, with its members engaged in their regular discussions and negotiations. The vast chamber echoed with the hum of high-tech equipment and the murmurs of alien representatives from across the galaxy. Everything seemed normal until a sudden, alarming report shattered the Council's calm. A large fleet, one of the Council's most powerful, had been sent to patrol near the edge of human space. This fleet was a symbol of the Council's might, equipped with the latest weapons and technology. Its mission was to ensure that humanity remained under control and to monitor any potential threats. But now this mighty fleet had vanished without a trace. The report was delivered by a nervous officer who struggled to keep his composure as he described the situation. "The fleet we sent to the human border has completely disappeared. We've lost all contact. There's no sign of wreckage or debris. It's as if they simply vanished." The Council members exchanged uneasy glances. Disappearances of entire fleets were unheard of. The officer's words were met with a mix of confusion and disbelief. The fleet was well equipped with advanced tracking systems and communication technology. How could it simply disappear? A wave of concern swept through the Council. Some members whispered about possible technical failures or sabotage, but these explanations seemed insufficient given the fleet's advanced technology. Others feared that an unknown force might be responsible. The Council had always dismissed humanity as a minor player, but now they had to question if humans had developed something far beyond their expectations. As panic began to spread, a special emergency session was convened. The Council's leaders, who had been so confident in their superiority, were now grappling with fear and uncertainty. They reviewed all available data, hoping to find any clue about what might have happened. But the more they investigated, the less they understood. The fleet had simply vanished, leaving no trace behind. In the meantime, the Council's communication channels buzzed with frantic messages. Ships were dispatched to search the area where the fleet had last been seen. The Council's scientists and military strategists worked around the clock, trying to piece together any possible explanation. Could it be a new weapon or a form of technology they had not anticipated? While the Council scrambled to find answers, Earth's hidden FTL fleet remained undetected. The disappearance of the Council's fleet was part of a grand plan orchestrated by humanity. The advanced technology that had been kept secret for so long was now proving its worth. But the humans were not ready to reveal themselves just yet. They watched from the shadows, waiting for the right moment to unveil their strength. The Galactic Council's confidence was shaken. They had always believed that their power was unchallenged, but the mysterious disappearance of their fleet was a stark reminder of their vulnerability. The once dismissed human species was now a serious concern. The Council's leaders were forced to confront the reality that their view of humanity might have been dangerously wrong. As the days passed, the Council faced mounting pressure. The disappearance of their fleet was just the beginning of a series of events that would force them to reevaluate their understanding of the galaxy. Humanity's presence was becoming increasingly significant, and the Council's complacency was starting to cost them dearly. The Galactic Council was reeling from the shock of their missing fleet. Their confidence had been severely shaken, and whispers of fear and uncertainty filled the corridors of power. As the Council struggled to find answers, humanity was preparing for a dramatic revelation that would turn the galaxy upside down. On Earth, a sense of excitement and tension was building. The day had finally come for humanity to unveil their secret weapon. For years, Earth's leaders and scientists had kept their new fleet hidden, waiting for the right moment to reveal it. That moment was now. The stakes were high, and the plan was set into motion. The grand reveal was carefully orchestrated. From the hidden bases, the newly built fleet of faster-than-light FTL ships was brought into full view. These ships were sleek, advanced, and unlike anything the Galactic Council had ever seen. The FTL technology allowed them to travel across the galaxy in seconds, a capability far beyond the Council's imagination. The human fleet was poised to make its presence known in a spectacular way. As the appointed hour approached, a signal was sent to the Galactic Council's Central Command. The message was clear: humanity was ready to showcase its new fleet. The Council members gathered for what they expected to be another routine session, unaware that they were about to witness a turning point in galactic history. The moment the human fleet was activated, a series of stunning events unfolded. The ships emerged from their hidden bases and traveled at incredible speeds, appearing on the screens of the Galactic Council in an instant. The sight was breathtaking and terrifying. The Council members watched in disbelief as the human ships performed maneuvers that defied their understanding of space travel. The Council's chamber fell silent as the realization dawned. The once dismissed human species had not only mastered FTL travel, but had also built an entire fleet capable of overwhelming their forces. The sleek, powerful ships glided through the galaxy, demonstrating their speed and agility with impressive precision. Human leaders broadcasted a message across the galaxy, directly addressing the Council. The message was firm but not hostile. "We are humanity. For too long you have underestimated us. We have developed technology that you could not even imagine. Our fleet is ready to defend our right to explore the stars and secure our place in the galaxy." The Council was in turmoil. Their once unshakable confidence was replaced by fear and panic. The advanced human fleet was a stark reminder of their arrogance and ignorance. The Council members scrambled to understand the full extent of the threat they now faced. Their complacency had allowed humanity to develop a power that could potentially challenge their very existence. Humanity's reveal was not just about showcasing advanced technology, it was a declaration of strength and independence. The Galactic Council had to confront the reality that they were no longer the unchallenged rulers of the galaxy. The balance of power had shifted, and humanity was now a significant player on the galactic stage. As the human fleet continued to demonstrate its capabilities, the Council had no choice but to reassess their position. The days of ignoring humanity were over. The galaxy had changed, and the Galactic Council would have to find a new way to navigate this new, uncertain era. Humanity's big reveal was a game changer, and the Council's response would determine the future of their dominance in the galaxy. The Galactic Council was in chaos. The stunning revelation of humanity's faster-than-light FTL fleet had left the members scrambling for answers. The once confident rulers of the galaxy now faced an unprecedented crisis. Their previous beliefs about humanity had been shattered, and the implications of this new reality were sinking in. In the Council's grand chamber, the atmosphere was tense. Alien representatives, who had once been dismissive of humanity, now looked worried. The councilors convened an emergency session to address the sudden shift in power. The usual air of arrogance was replaced by fear and urgency. The Council's leaders knew they had to act quickly or risk losing their grip on the galaxy. The chamber was filled with heated debates. Some counselors argued for immediate military action, suggesting that they should strike back before the human fleet could become an even greater threat. Others, however, were more cautious, advocating for diplomatic measures to avoid further escalation. The debate was fierce, with voices raised and tempers flaring. Among the council members, the most influential figures were those who had initially dismissed humanity as a minor threat. They were now on the defensive, struggling to justify their previous stance. Their confidence had been replaced by a desperate need to regain control and demonstrate their authority. Meanwhile, the council's military leaders were busy assessing the situation. They were tasked with evaluating the capabilities of the human fleet and devising strategies to counter it. The advanced FTL ships had rendered many of the council's defenses obsolete. The military experts were faced with the daunting task of finding a way to match or surpass the new technology. The council's scientific advisors were also hard at work. They were scouring their archives and research databases, trying to understand the FTL technology that had been so carefully hidden by humanity. The goal was to find any possible weakness or countermeasure that could level the playing field. The scientific community was under intense pressure to produce results quickly. In private meetings, the council's leaders discussed their options. Some advocated for a swift and decisive strike against humanity's hidden bases, hoping to catch them off guard. Others proposed forming alliances with other galactic powers to strengthen their position. The idea was to pool resources and technology to develop new countermeasures. As the days passed, the urgency of the situation grew. The council was not used to being in such a vulnerable position. The idea of humanity, once considered insignificant, now holding the upper hand, was a blow to their pride and power. They knew they could not afford to delay their response. The fear of losing control over the galaxy drove the council to make hasty decisions. They began mobilizing their remaining fleets and fortifying their positions. The once unshakable confidence had turned into a frantic race to regain dominance. The council's leaders were determined not to let humanity's reveal be the end of their rule. In the midst of this desperation, the council faced a new reality. They had underestimated humanity's capabilities, and now they had to deal with the consequences. The galaxy was no longer a place where the council could command unquestioning obedience. Humanity's emergence as a powerful force had forced a dramatic shift in the galactic balance. How the council would respond in this desperate time would shape the future of their rule and the galaxy as a whole. The Galactic Council's desperation was palpable. They scrambled to respond to the shocking reveal of humanity's faster-than-light, FTL, fleet. Plans were made, defenses were bolstered, and alliances were sought. But amidst all the chaos and uncertainty, humanity had a clear and decisive strategy. The time had come for them to act, and they were ready to strike first. On Earth, the hidden FTL fleet was mobilizing. The fleet's commanders, well-trained and prepared, had been waiting for the right moment to launch their first major offensive. The human military had anticipated the Council's desperate reaction and knew that taking the initiative was crucial. The goal was to strike a decisive blow that would further shift the balance of power in humanity's favor. The plan was simple but bold. Humanity would launch a series of coordinated attacks on key Galactic Council targets. These included strategic military bases, vital communication hubs, and resource centers. The aim was to disrupt the Council's operations and create confusion, making it harder for them to mount an effective counterattack. As the FTL ships prepared for their mission, the atmosphere on Earth was tense, but hopeful. Command centers buzzed with activity as final preparations were made. The human fleet, sleek and formidable, was equipped with advanced weaponry and cutting-edge technology. The ships were ready to execute their orders with precision and efficiency. The first wave of attacks began with a sudden and unexpected assault on a major Council military base located on a remote asteroid. The base, once a symbol of the Council's power, was struck with surprising speed and force. Human ships emerged from FTL travel and unleashed a barrage of laser fire and missile strikes. The base's defenses, caught off guard, crumbled under the assault. In a matter of minutes, the base was in ruins. The Galactic Council was thrown into turmoil. News of the attack spread rapidly, and panic ensued among the counselors and military leaders. They had underestimated humanity's resolve and capability, and the first strike had been a clear demonstration of their new power. The Council's communication channels were flooded with reports of the attack and the resulting chaos. Humanity's fleet continued its offensive, targeting additional Council facilities with precision. The attacks were swift and efficient, designed to maximize impact while minimizing the risk to their own forces. The Council's attempts to retaliate were hampered by the confusion and disarray caused by the surprise strikes. The human fleet moved with calculated speed, exploiting every opportunity to weaken the Council's hold. The Galactic Council's leaders faced mounting pressure to respond. The initial attacks had not only caused significant damage, but had also undermined their sense of invulnerability. The Council's once unquestioned authority was being challenged, and their attempts to regain control were met with further resistance from humanity's well-coordinated strikes. As the attacks continued, the Council's desperation grew. They were forced to reconsider their strategies and scrambled to recover from the blows dealt by humanity. The once dominant power in the galaxy was now grappling with the reality that their position was far from secure. Humanity's decision to strike first had set a new tone for the conflict. The balance of power had shifted, and the Galactic Council was left to confront the consequences of their misjudgment. The galaxy watched in awe and fear as the unfolding battle marked a turning point in the struggle for control and dominance. The Galactic Council was reeling from the relentless attacks launched by humanity's newly revealed FTL fleet. Their once secure positions were rapidly being dismantled, and the pressure was mounting. The Council's leaders knew they needed to act quickly or face complete defeat. Their most important asset was their central stronghold, a heavily fortified space station that symbolized their power and control over the galaxy. But even this bastion of strength was now under threat. The Council's stronghold, known as Celestis Prime, was located in a strategic position at the heart of their territory. It was a massive space station equipped with advanced defenses, including energy shields and a formidable array of weaponry. The Council believed that Celestis Prime was impregnable, a fortress that could withstand any attack. But humanity's relentless strikes had shaken their confidence, and the stronghold was now in the crosshairs. The human fleet, having successfully executed their earlier attacks, turned their focus on Celestis Prime. The plan was to deliver a decisive blow that would cripple the Council's ability to respond effectively. The fleet assembled in the shadow of a nearby moon, concealed from the stronghold's sensors. From there, they prepared for the most critical phase of their campaign. As the human ships emerged from their hidden position, they approached Celestis Prime with a calculated precision. The attack was carefully timed to exploit the Council's vulnerabilities. The fleet had gathered intelligence on the stronghold's defense systems, identifying weaknesses that could be targeted. The goal was to overwhelm the defenses and create a breach that would allow the fleet to strike at the heart of the stronghold. The assault began with a coordinated barrage of laser fire and missiles. The initial wave of attacks targeted the stronghold's energy shields, aiming to weaken them. The Council's defenses were put to the test as the powerful weapons hammered against the shield, creating bursts of light and explosions. Despite their advanced technology, the sheer intensity of the human assault began to take its toll. The defenders on Celestis Prime scrambled to respond, deploying countermeasures and launching their own attacks in an attempt to repel the invaders. But the human fleet had planned for this. Their ships executed precise maneuvers to avoid the strongest counterattacks while maintaining a relentless assault. The stronghold's defenses were being pushed to their limits. As the battle raged, a critical moment arrived. The human fleet managed to breach the energy shield, creating an opening. Capitalizing on this breakthrough, the fleet directed their fire at the stronghold's core systems. Explosions erupted as key components were hit, causing significant damage. The once mighty Celestis Prime began to falter, its status as a symbol of the Council's power slipping away. The Council's leaders watched in disbelief as their stronghold succumbed to the onslaught. Celestis Prime, the very heart of their control, was now a battlefield in ruins. The Central Command Center, once a hub of authority, was engulfed in chaos. The Council's ability to coordinate their response was severely compromised. With the fall of Celestis Prime, the Galactic Council faced a dire situation. The loss of their stronghold marked a turning point in the conflict. The Council's power was visibly weakened, and their dominance over the galaxy was in serious jeopardy. Humanity's calculated and relentless attacks had delivered a crushing blow, reshaping the balance of power in the galaxy. As the remnants of Celestis Prime drifted in space, the galaxy watched in awe and fear. The once unshakable Galactic Council had been forced to confront the harsh reality that their rule was no longer unchallenged. Humanity had proven their strength and resolve, and the Council's stronghold falling was a stark reminder of their new reality. The galaxy was in turmoil following the dramatic fall of Celestis Prime. The Galactic Council, once a symbol of unchallenged power, had been severely shaken. With their central stronghold in ruins and their forces reeling from the relentless human attacks, the Council faced a critical decision. Should they seek peace or continue the conflict? The Council's leaders convened an emergency session in the aftermath of the battle. The chamber was filled with a mix of fear, anger, and desperation. Council members who had once exuded confidence now appeared uncertain and worried. The scale of the damage inflicted by humanity's fleet was staggering, and the possibility of further losses loomed large. Debate raged among the councilors. Some argued for peace, suggesting that the continued conflict was untenable and would only lead to further devastation. They pointed out that humanity had demonstrated their capability and resolve, and that a negotiated settlement might be the best way to prevent total collapse. This faction believed that reaching out for peace could help preserve what was left of the Council's power and avoid further destruction. Others were adamant about continuing the fight. They viewed the loss of Celestis Prime as a challenge to their authority and were determined to restore their dominance. They believed that conceding to humanity's demands would be a blow to their honor and could embolden other galactic powers to challenge them. This faction advocated for a full-scale mobilization to recapture lost territory and reassert their control. In the midst of these discussions, a growing sense of urgency permeated the Council. The reality of their situation was sinking in. The once unassailable Galactic Council now faced a formidable opponent in humanity. The losses they had suffered were not just physical but psychological, and the strain was beginning to show. Meanwhile, humanity was not idle. After their successful strikes, human leaders were also grappling with their next steps. The decision was made to offer a chance for peace, but on their terms. Humanity's leaders recognized that pushing for total victory could lead to further unnecessary suffering. They sent a message to the Galactic Council, proposing negotiations and presenting terms that reflected their newfound strength. The message was clear. Humanity was willing to discuss peace but expected respect and recognition of their power. They proposed a ceasefire and offered to enter into negotiations to determine the future terms of their relationship with the Council. The goal was to establish a new status quo that would acknowledge humanity's role as a major player in the galaxy. The Council was faced with a choice that would shape their future. Accepting humanity's terms would mean acknowledging their new position and potentially allowing them a seat at the galactic table. It would be a significant shift in power dynamics, but could also bring stability. On the other hand, rejecting the offer and continuing the war could lead to even greater losses and uncertainty. As the Council members weighed their options, the galaxy held its breath. The outcome of this pivotal moment would determine not only the future of the Galactic Council, but also the broader fate of the galaxy. The choice between peace and war was not just a matter of survival, but a defining moment in the history of galactic relations. The galaxy watched as the Council prepared to make a decision that would echo through the stars. The galaxy was on edge as the Galactic Council faced its pivotal decision. With the fall of Celestis Prime and the devastation caused by humanity's fleet, the Council's position had been drastically weakened. As the Council pondered their response to humanity's offer for peace, the future of galactic politics hung in the balance. In the heart of Earth's command center, leaders were closely following the Council's deliberations. Humanity had made its intentions clear. They sought a new order, one where they were recognized as a significant power. The offer for negotiations had been sent, and now it was up to the Galactic Council to decide how they would respond. After days of intense debate, the Council reached a decision. The realization that continuing the conflict would lead to further destruction and possibly their own downfall had pushed them towards acceptance. The Council agreed to enter negotiations with humanity. The message was sent back to Earth. The Council was ready to discuss terms for peace and a new galactic order. The negotiations were held in a neutral space station far from the war-torn regions. Representatives from both humanity and the Galactic Council gathered, their faces reflecting a mix of tension and anticipation. The meeting room was filled with representatives from various species, each eager to see how the new power dynamics would unfold. Humanity's lead negotiator, Admiral Lisa Carter, took center stage. Her presence commanded respect, and her reputation as a skilled strategist and diplomat preceded her. She outlined humanity's terms: recognition as a major galactic power, equal participation in the Council, and a revised set of agreements that would ensure fair treatment and mutual respect. The terms were firm but fair, reflecting humanity's new status while aiming to foster cooperation. The Council's representatives listened carefully. The terms presented were a far cry from their previous dominance, but the alternative was clear. Accepting humanity's terms meant embracing a new era of cooperation and adjustment. The discussions were intense, with both sides presenting their arguments and negotiating the finer points of the agreement. As the days passed, a sense of cautious optimism began to emerge. The negotiations were progressing, and both sides appeared willing to reach a compromise. The Galactic Council, once steadfast in their belief of unchallenged superiority, now faced the reality of a shared galaxy. Humanity's demands were met with a begrudging acceptance, and a new era was beginning to take shape. Finally, the agreement was signed. The Galactic Council officially recognized humanity as a significant power in the galaxy. The terms included humanity's participation in the Council's decision-making process, ensuring their voice would be heard. The once dominant Council had agreed to share power, and the balance of influence was irrevocably shifted. With the agreement in place, humanity took its place among the stars. The galaxy watched as the new order began to unfold. The days of one-sided rule were over, and a new chapter of cooperation and mutual respect was starting. Humanity's emergence as a key player marked a turning point in galactic history. The era of conflict was giving way to an era of potential. As humanity assumed its role in the galaxy, the future held promise and uncertainty. The balance of power had changed, and with it, the galaxy embarked on a new journey, one where the lessons of the past would shape the possibilities of the future.